What's happening, YouTube? It's Simon466cards, and today we're going to talk about PSA trying to deliver a final death blow to Beckett and their business. And I'll explain to you why I believe that to be the case based off of the video that you see on your screen. It's a piece of a much longer video that PSA did on their Instagram account on October 10th for their 1010 day, where they were talking to Ryan from PSA, and they were doing this back and forth for about 40 minutes. And there is one piece that definitely stuck out in my mind when they were talking about it. So I'm going to play it for you here, and then we'll talk about why I think it is relevant and extremely predictive of what they're trying to do after this clip. So it's about 50 seconds long. So just bear with me here. I think this is good stuff here.
One more bit of news in terms of expansion. This one domestic. Gonna have a new office location in the U.S.
Yeah. This one's pretty exciting. We actually haven't disclosed this. So breaking news. We are opening an office in Plano, Texas. So just a suburb of Dallas. It's going to be open by the end of the year. We already have several employees, a decent amount of employees actually based there that travel to our offices on the East Coast and the West Coast. We are going to offer dealer and partner drop-offs at that location, and then we have plans to open up to allow customer drop-offs on public days. And we're going to work to get to a regular cadence. Probably starting next year, we will be on a monthly cadence, and then hopefully work up to a weekly cadence on that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more updates on that.
All right, so there you have it. PSA is going to open an office in a place called Plano, Texas. What a random place to put a PSA office, right? A little suburb of Dallas. I want to put it in Dallas. Of all the places in the US, why not in Florida? Why not in Austin, Texas, San Antonio, Houston? Why this random suburb of Dallas? Let's keep that in mind. Now, we're going to go over to Beckett. This is Beckett's head office. You can see the address is 2700 on here on the right. You can see here on the left, it's in Suite 100. And where is this Beckett office? Where is it located? Oh, look at that. It's in Plano, Texas. What a little coinky-dink we have here that PSA is opening up a new office in the exact same city where Beckett is headquartered in. What are the odds of that? I'm sure that's a coincidence given all the little towns and cities across the United States, or even if you're just looking in the southeastern United States, they've just so happened to choose the exact same town or city, whatever you want to call it, as Beckett. This is, to me, it is obviously not a coincidence. This is PSA moving in on Beckett's turf, and Beckett has only one clear advantage. It is their local drop-offs that people in the Dallas area can swing by the Plano, Texas office if they're afraid of, getting their shipments lost, or people not really feeling comfortable mailing high-end cards. You just drive by the Beckett office and drop it off. Well, if PSA has an office also in Plano, Texas, and you have now the choice of dropping off with Beckett or PSA, I mean, given those two options, who in their right mind is going to choose Beckett over PSA at this point? So the only advantage they have, if you're talking about resale value, communication, customer experience, any of these things, technology, any of these things, Beckett loses. But if you just happen to live in Dallas or Plano or somewhere in that area, you're like, well, at least I can count on people dropping stuff off. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. You should drop it off at PSA instead. They're the big brand in the industry. There's no competitive advantage that Beckett has other than if you just hate PSA, which I understand there are people that feel that way. But this is clearly a shot at Beckett to try to steal the remaining customers that drop off cards at Beckett. That's how I see this. The other thing they're going to try to do, from what I can tell, and again, this is just all my hypothesis here, is look at these gem rate numbers of Beckett compared to PSA. I'm on the gem rate Instagram page. Shout out to Ryan at gem rate. Always great stuff. They're in the 40 to 60,000 per month range, whereas PSA is in the well over a million range, right? You're looking at September, August. But even in June and May, we're in the well over 1 million. And again, Beckett's in that 50 to 60K range. So if you go back a year though, I'm now in March of 2023. You can see it's 70K, 56, 63, 57. The numbers were a little bit higher back then and have been ticking down, right? Even October, you can see November 60, here 75, 61, 75. We're now in the 50, 50, 65, 46 range. The numbers are ticking down. And so guess what happens when you start to run out of cards to grade if you're at Beckett? Well, guess what? Probably going to have to lay off some employees. And so if you're a Beckett employer right now and you kind of see the writing on the wall as to what's happening with the number of cards coming in and the amount of work available, you're probably like, well, I can wait to get laid off or fired and run that risk, or I can just jump ship now, avoid that whole hassle of trying to find a job if and when those layoffs come. Why wouldn't I just apply to go work at PSA? I already have industry knowledge that I can bring over. They're opening up a new office, so they're going to be looking to hire people. Wouldn't the logical solution or the logical choice be, if you're already a Beckett employee in Plano, Texas, to go work for the new office of the conglomerate that dominates the space in the exact same town? You're not even changing your commute that much. You're just moving to a different office for a much more stable company, which does not have a gong show of an owner at the top, as Beckett does with their owner who is headed to prison, and probably the conglomerate that owns Beckett is probably headed to liquidation and bankruptcy. Wouldn't you get ahead of that curve and be like, well, either I jump ship, or my employees jump ship, or my fellow employees, my colleagues jump ship, or I get laid off? Why don't I just beat everybody to the punch and start getting my resume ready, getting those job applications ready, sending that over to PSA and see what comes of it? And so by doing that, then you also lose employees from Beckett, which then just further continues that snowball effect of creating chaos at Beckett. You're reducing the number of customers. You're now possibly reducing the number of employees by opening this office in Plano. And it just escalates and accelerates the demise of Beckett by doing this. You're taking away customers and you're taking away employees, possibly, with this move. And then that just makes it quicker and faster for Beckett to start basically heading towards bankruptcy, or at the very least, heading towards getting sold. And maybe this is also a play by PSA to chop another leg out from underneath Beckett and then buy them up for pennies on the dollar. And maybe they get into a bidding war with Fanatics as to who buys them out. But that's kind of what I see. I cannot imagine that of all the cities and towns across the entire United States where PSA could open a new office, that it just so happens they open one in the exact same suburb of Dallas that Beckett already sits in. They already have SGC, so this is just really cornering the market for grading by doing this. And I have no problem with it. I think it's a brilliant business move. Maybe not so much for competition, but hey, this is what business is all about. It's about basically defeating your competition and making these type of chess moves to really corner your competition. So that's what I think is happening here. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below, what you think. But to me, this one it's almost a little too obvious. Yes, Plano, Texas, of all the places in the entire eastern, southeastern United States, that's where we're going to open our next office. Not Dallas itself, not Houston, not San Antonio, not Austin. If you just want to stick with the big parts of Texas, no. Plano, Texas is where we're going to go. Sure, okay. Not a coincidence. Anyways, that's my video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you, as always, for listening and watching. I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.